Have you ever wondered why some people seem to live surrounded by luxury but years later end up without a single cent? While others, even with a more discreet lifestyle, manage to maintain and even multiply their wealth throughout their lives? Today, we're diving into a comparison that goes far beyond the number in your bank account. The rich versus the truly rich. Because believe me, having money is not the same as being truly wealthy. Think of it like this. It's the difference between someone who rents an expensive suit for a single night and someone who owns a full wardrobe and knows exactly when and how to use it. One impresses for a moment, the other for a lifetime. The rich are easy to spot. The latest sports cars, designer clothes, watches that shine brighter than a lighthouse. There's nothing wrong with enjoying what you earn, but the question is, are you buying for yourself or so others will see it? The truly rich think differently. They don't feel the constant need to prove their success. They know real wealth doesn't need a showcase. Instead of spending on things that lose value, they direct their money toward assets that generate more money. For example, while the rich buy a sports car that depreciates the moment it leaves the dealership, the truly rich might invest in a property that generates monthly rental income. And when they do buy a car, it's probably because that rental income already pays for it without touching their main funds. Fun fact, studies by Thomas Stanley and William Danko, authors of The Millionaire Next Door, show that most millionaires in the US don't drive brand new luxury cars but practical, often secondhand vehicles. Because to them, the real luxury is financial freedom. Here's one of the big differences. For the rich, time is often something traded for more money. They work longer hours, take on more commitments, even sacrifice rest to earn more. For the truly rich, time is the most valuable asset, and it's not for sale. They design their lives to have free time, to decide when and on what they work. Picture two scenarios. One person with a huge salary who doesn't have time to see their family, and another with passive income who can enjoy breakfast in peace, read, travel, and still make money while they sleep. Who's richer? A perfect example is Warren Buffett. Despite being one of the richest men in the world, he has always worked from the same office in Omaha, far from Wall Street's noise, and spends much of his time reading. His goal was never to work until he collapsed, but to work with purpose and let his money work for him. And here's a thought most people miss. If your schedule is packed from sunrise to midnight, even if you're earning millions, you're still working for money. Not letting money work for you. The truly rich measure wealth in hours of freedom, not just in dollar amounts. Interesting insight. A Harvard study found that beyond a certain income, around $75,000 to $90,000 a year in the US, happiness increases more with time freedom than with extra dollars earned. Meaning, past a point, buying back your time is more valuable than buying more things. The rich spend to enjoy the present. The truly rich build with the future in mind. Here's the critical point. If your money only comes in to go right back out as purchases, you're in a never-ending cycle. If what comes in multiplies before it goes out, you're building something that can last generations. Many famous athletes and artists have earned fortunes, but lost them in just a few years. Mike Tyson, for example, made over $300 million in his career, but ended up bankrupt. Why? Overspending, poor management, and few smart investments. On the other hand, Shaquille O'Neal took a different path. He learned about business, invested in franchises, technology, and real estate. The result? His wealth continues to grow even after retiring from sports. And here's the key. Spending isn't the problem. It's the proportion and the purpose. Buying a luxury car or an impressive home can be gratifying, but if those purchases are less than 5% of what you earn, and at the same time you have assets generating more than you consume, you're playing the game of the truly rich. It's about making every purchase backed by a solid base of passive income, so your lifestyle doesn't depend on your next paycheck, but on a portfolio that maintains and grows itself. Curious fact, a CNBC analysis revealed that over 60% of self-made millionaires invest at least 20% of their income before they spend a single dollar on luxury. And many say this habit was the turning point in their financial lives. Wealth doesn't start in the bank. It starts in the mind. A rich person might get lucky, inherit wealth, or make a big sale that puts them at the top. But without a financial mindset, the money eventually goes away. The truly rich cultivate habits: smart saving, consistent investing, emotional control during crises. Think about the difference between someone who wins the lottery and someone who builds a profitable business from scratch. The former often spends without restraint because they don't understand the value of generating money. The latter knows that every dollar invested wisely can multiply. Interesting fact: over 70% of lottery winners in the US lose all their money within 5 years. It's not about how much you earn. It's about how much you can keep and grow. A clear example is Conor McGregor. In his early fame, he spent on luxury cars, extremely expensive watches, and endless parties. But after a serious injury and a drop in income, he realized his lifestyle wasn't sustainable. Since then, he has invested in his whiskey brand, gyms, and businesses outside sports. The result? He not only regained stability, but multiplied his net worth. Mindset twist. Research from the University of Cambridge found that financial habits are often set by the age of 7. Meaning, if you want to become truly rich, you have to reprogram not just your finances, but your thinking patterns, starting as early as possible. There's a kind of luxury you don't see on Instagram: paying all your bills without stress, owing nothing to anyone, having emergency savings, and being able to say no to jobs or deals you don't like. The truly rich value peace of mind more than showmanship. Yes, they may own mansions and cars, but they don't need to flaunt them every day to feel important. Howard Hughes, one of the most successful entrepreneurs of his time, ended his days isolated and obsessed with his possessions. In contrast, Sam Walton, founder of Walmart, lived modestly, drove an old pickup truck, and wore simple clothes, while his company made him one of the richest men in the world. This kind of luxury also translates into freedom of choice. It's not just about having material goods, but about controlling your time and energy. Warren Buffett, for example, still lives in the same house he bought in 1958 and spends his days reading and reflecting, not trying to impress anyone. Powerful stat. A U.S. trust survey found that 64% of millionaires said their top priority was financial security and peace of mind, not public recognition or luxury displays. The rich live as if the money will never run out. The truly rich plan as if every dollar has to last for decades. That's the essence of long-term investing: diversifying and reinvesting profits instead of spending them all. It's the difference between having income that lasts a few years and building a legacy that outlives you. Surprising fact: according to studies by Fidelity, many self-made millionaires built their wealth not through inheritance, but through decades of consistent investing. Often in unglamorous things like index funds or rental properties. And here's the part that keeps people curious: some of the world's wealthiest families own companies you've never heard of. Quiet empires in logistics, agriculture, and manufacturing that generate cash flow for generations without ever being in the spotlight. Another interesting truth is that the truly rich often think in terms of impact per dollar, not just return on investment. They choose projects that not only grow their fortune, but also shape industries, open opportunities, and strengthen their influence for decades to come. Perspective shift. In Japan, there are family businesses that have lasted over 400 years. Not because they chased quick profits, but because they made decisions with the mindset of leaving something stronger for the next generation. Being rich isn't about an exact number in your bank account. It's about living how you want, having control over your time and decisions, and not depending on the next paycheck to survive. The truly rich understand that money is a tool, not the ultimate goal. Their aim is freedom, choosing where to live, how to spend their day, who to spend it with, and what projects to support. And here's the irony: many who seem rich are drowning in debt to maintain an image, while some truly rich people live so discreetly you could bump into them at the grocery store and never suspect who they are. Eye-opener. A Credit Suisse report showed that over 50% of global millionaires are self-made and live in middle-class neighborhoods, proving that true wealth often hides in plain sight. Final call. Value your time more than your money. Invest before you spend. Learn before you show off. Build something that lasts longer than your next purchase.